I want to start by saying thank you so much for taking the time out to sit down and chat with me. I suppose we should start right at the beginning. How did you first discover drag?
I first discovered drag through Drag Race. I'm one of
Hmm.
those people. But I met I met my ex back in uni in like 2015, and she recommended it to me. And then I think at that time they were all on Netflix, so I watched them all in order.
Hmm.
And then I think it was like season 9, I started watching them as they came out.
And so,
And then go on.
no, no, sorry, you continue.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, I think I mentioned it one of the weeks at Kings. Jolene Dover was the first queen I ever saw live
Hmm.
who wasn't on Drag Race, and that was it was actually a Drag Race quiz. So the
Wow.
most Drag Race you can get while still supporting local drag, and that was at the old depot. It was a
Hmm.
long time ago. I was a team of one, and I came second. So
Wow, amazing.
pretty
Still
good.
winning even before we'll go into later. But so what made you go then from sort of loving Drag Race to actually having to go yourself and trying things out?
It was probably the fact that I was in a 7-year relationship, which was eventually an engagement, and then I ended up splitting from my partner.
Hmm.
And I'd always wanted to do it in the back of my mind, but I think there was still that stigma of being in a straight-ish relationship.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I'm not entirely like I want to do it, but like I didn't want to face that stigma, which is stupid, I know, because like
Hmm.
people do it all the time now. But when I left my partner, I was just sort of like, if I'm not going to do it now, I'm
Yeah.
probably never going to do it. So, and then I saw that Draglings was happening at the Queer Emporium. And I was like, yeah, it's now or never.
So Draglins was your first time in full drag?
Yeah, if you can call what I got into last September full drag, it was a fucking car crash. Obviously, like most of what I wear is a car crash, but that was like really bad.
What was it like that first performance then, getting on the stage? Not how you normally present yourself.
Honestly, it felt fine. I think because a lot of drag queens at the moment, like when they start out, because they're young and beautiful, they have the look down, but not necessarily the
Mhm.
performance. Whereas I've been performing
Yeah.
as Ollie for years now. It's just the look that takes a while. So like once I got up on stage, I was absolutely fine.
Mm.
It was just stressing about how I looked for the 3 hours before that was the stressful part.
Mm. And what was the reaction like then to you taking to the stage? How did the audience react?
I think they took it really well. I was on last, so
Well,
save the best till last. But like, yeah, I did some numbers which been wanting to do for a while. It was like swing jazzy versions of really dirty songs. So I did My Neck, My Back.
right.
And then I did Creep by Radiohead because every drag queen has done Creep by Radiohead at some point in their career. So I thought I'd just get it over and done with in the first gig and then I never have to do it again. But yeah, I think they really enjoyed it.
Hmm. And then obviously from there, then you entered the King's Royal Variety Show. So what made you want to sign up? Why did you put your name down?
I think because I literally just moved to Cardiff. So I did Draglings in September and then I didn't really do anything except, excuse me, I watched Etta's drag marathon like on and off up until the end of the year. Then I moved to Cardiff in January and I was like, as much as I'd love to just be able to get gigs off of my own performance ability, no one knows who I am.
Yeah.
And it's either well, I knew that I wanted to do Etas, and I probably will do Etas.
Hmm.
I will do that when it comes along, probably September time. I was like, what else is out there? I know that Drag Idol's coming up, and then I saw that Kings had a competition. Didn't know about it, understandably, because I hadn't done it since
Yeah.
2019. And I thought, I like Kings. I
Hmm.
like a lot of the people that I know are entering, so why not?
And that first week that you entered, you did something quite different. You weren't in full drag. What?
Yeah, so I had what I think was bronchitis at the time.
Oh,
So it was a whole mess of stuff. They almost didn't ask me to be in it, but that was because there was a mix up with my email address. So I already almost wasn't there. And then, yeah, I felt like absolute crap, like death warmed up. So I was like, you know what? my voice is absolutely wrecked. I'm just going to do something low that actually fits in my register, which was about 4 notes at the time. And I really did not have the energy to, one, stay there the entire night, which was extremely rude
Yeah.
of me. But
Yeah.
I just needed to be home. And 2, to get up into full drag. But
Mm.
then I knew as soon as I found out that it wasn't an elimination week, I was like, okay, I'm still going to be here next week. So I can do Carrie then.
Yeah. So, because obviously being on the panel, the second week we talked about how the first week you were so different, and obviously that being ill and that tiredness, obviously it was kind of a lucky save that it was a non-elimination week. But
Oh yeah.
but from there, you you did incredible. So why did you decide then to change for the second week to go up in full drag? Was there a was the first week kind of a
I
kick?
think that was the plan all along.
Right.
Like if I hadn't been ill, I would have been in drag the whole time. It was just I
Hmm.
knew like this obviously I'd done Draglings, but that was 5 months before. So this was like my first
Hmm.
proper time out in drag. I really didn't want my first time to be performing in front of people in the competition setting to be
Hmm.
marred by the fact that I was feeling like death warmed up.
Hmm.
Not a good look.
And also throughout the competition, you had a name change. So
I did.
initially you were Carrie Fister, and then you changed your name, well, publicly halfway through the competition. So why did you decide to change your name then? Why did that come about?
So the first week I was there, I was talking to the other queens, and I think I was getting ready at one point, and someone just mentioned, "Oh, Carrie Sauce is a good name as well." And there's still a little bit of debate as to who actually came out of that name. Ivory Glam claims it was her, and Mileage claims it was her. I just say thank you to both of them and let them fight amongst themselves because I'm not that petty most of the time. But I think it was just as much as I love the name Carrie Fister, and I'm very proud of myself for coming up with that name. And it's a great homage to a great actress. I love Star Wars, all that stuff. It's quite niche and it's not very family friendly.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
I thought, what's more Welsh than curry sauce? So, like, ironic thing is, I don't even like curry sauce. I'm more of a chips and gravy kind of person. But
Yeah.
ooh, maybe I'll change my name to Gravy. Like Cher, just one name, Gravy.
Oh, and also, like, as that change sort of happened, you kind of grew exponentially in the competition and sort of started putting out these incredible performances. So one of the weeks you read the competition live on stage. How did that come
I
about?
did.
How did you put that together?
So honestly, as I was starting to get into drag, I realized just how catty we are in a
Mm.
nice way.
Yeah.
I never like none of the things that come out of my mouth are ever actually meant to insult people. But I realized how often people do it, and I learned from the best because Ivory Glam in particular is a shady
Yes.
C word. We love her. She's got a very sharp tongue. And I just thought no one else has really done this. And obviously Etta's has a bit more structure in that, like, they have a reading challenge, they have a snatch game.
Yeah.
King's is a lot more open. And I was like, I think I'd be really good at reading. I'm quite eloquent, as
Yeah.
they say on Drag Race. I'm quite good with my mouth.
Hmm. Because that was the week you did the talking about Drag Race. It was started off with the Lady Camden, I Fell Down sequence. That was the
Yes.
same week. Um,
Yeah, which
it's like,
didn't quite go according to plan,
oh.
but I won, so it doesn't matter.
What was the sort of competitors' reactions then to did you give them a heads up before, or was that did they learn about it when it was on stage?
No, no, no. So I said to them, just so you know, I am going to do a couple of reads tonight. And I didn't go necessarily into detail because I wanted to have their true, accurate reaction to it. But no, I gave them a little bit of a warning.
Yeah. So then
The
you kind
second time I read them, however, no holds barred.
and then obviously we got to the final then. What was it like going into the final for you? What was it, that the pinnacle of the competition? How did that feel?
Honestly, like the finale was the first time that I was kind of bricking myself because even if it was just one word, every other week, apart from like the first week where you introduce yourselves, we had some sort of prompt. even if it was just Valentine's or musicals. Whereas the email came through from Nikki Knockers and it was just 15 minutes why you should win. And I was like, I don't know why I should win. Can I just stand up there and say I've won 4 out of 6 weeks and leave the stage? Probably not. What am I going to do for the other 14 and a half minutes? So it was just looking back at what I'd done, what I hadn't shown, and then trying to fill in the blanks, but also give them more of what they love.
Yeah. And obviously, you came up with sort of a medley of songs, a few of which were Glee sort of centric, which I really enjoyed. How did you put those songs together then? How did you pick what to showcase what you thought would go down really well?
Some things just sort of came together naturally. Like I knew I wanted to do a little bit more of the AI stuff and like have something funny towards the beginning. And then obviously Rose's Turn is very big at the
Yeah.
moment because of the TikToks going around of all that work and what did it get me? So that was like a natural choice because I'm a musical theatre singer
Yeah.
anyway. And then what else did I do? Oh, yeah. I wanted to do something with lip syncing. I'm
Yeah.
not a lip sync queen, and I probably never will be, but it's nice to show a little bit of variety. Boy Next Door, it's nice because you don't really get to talk to the audience a lot and like tell them more about yourself. And that's quite accurate for me. I gave them a little bit about like how I'd grown up doing musical theatre and how I'd like changed completely to who I was last year. And then Edge of Glory was just like a celebration. It was like, I don't care if I win or lose at this point. It's
Yeah.
just, it's a lovely song. It's a cover by one of my favorite artists. It's by Ollie Alexander from Years and Years. And I was like, yeah, this is just a nice way to end it.
Yeah. And obviously, like you said, you did pull out lip syncing on the final, which is not a time where you usually gamble. But why did you decide to do that then for the first time in the final week?
Honestly, with lip syncing with me, it's either you do it the first week or the last week, because either way, you can't get eliminated. So even if it goes really badly, it's like, you know what? I did it. I showed it. I never have to do it again. But I'm here and you're not getting rid of me either way. So
so, so then obviously, as the competition went on, then obviously the final four stood on the stage. What was that moment like then before they announced who would be not winning and then on to who would be winning? What was it like standing on stage with the four of you?
it was really nice. Obviously, the week before, I thought that someone was going home and then our top four stayed a
Yeah.
top four. So that was really lovely. Getting to see everyone perform to the best of their ability was really, really special to me. Honestly, when I got up on stage, I was just like, you know what? I'm happy, whether I win or whether I don't. I knew in my mind who I thought it could be,
Mm-hmm.
who I thought, like, I had in my head like a top two. That's
Yeah.
not to discredit who I didn't think was going to be in the top two, but I just thought, you know what? If I win, I'm going to be happy. And if the other person wins, I'm also
Yeah.
going to be happy.
Totally.
And if either of the other two win, I'm going to riot.
I will say that the standard was incredibly high for the final. Like everyone did incredible,
Oh, yeah,
which was amazing.
absolutely. They pulled it out of their asses. Absolutely. They, everyone took every trick they had
Mm.
and just laid out on the stage. And it was thoroughly entertaining to watch.
But even though the standard was so
But
high, you were luckily announced as the winner of the King's Royal Variety Show. What was that very moment like when they called your name to say that you'd won?
it was I was very, very happy and also very, very relieved. But I would have been relieved whether
Yeah,
whether I'd been called or whether I hadn't, because it's very stressful to be competing for 6 weeks like that
yeah.
and constantly be on edge. So it was just relief. Like, yeah, I was just really happy.
Like you said, you'd worked so hard for like 6 weeks to have that sign kind of. I know you've had your wins, but to have that recognition of like you did fantastic, obviously must have felt amazing.
Oh yeah, it's really nice, especially so early in a drag career, to get such good critiques and then to get that validation of
Mm.
you are just as good as all these other people who've been performing for much longer than you. That's an
Yeah.
amazing feeling.
No,
And I'll never get tired of that.
So, where can people stay up to date with you? Where can people follow Carrie Sauce?
So you can follow me on Instagram, and TikTok is the same, but I don't really do TikTok at the moment because I'm 29. I'm practically dead. But yeah, Instagram, you can follow me at Carrie Sauce Cardiff.
Mhm.
I post some wonderful things on there. That's the one thing that hasn't come out of Kings because they didn't put the socials up. I don't have the followers I need yet. I'd love to get past like say 250 from this interview, maybe even 300. That'd be amazing.
I'll put the links below so people can scroll down and click away. But obviously that's where people can stay up to date. But what is next for Carrie Sauce? What's anything coming up? What's the plans? Promote upcoming things.
So obviously, well, I won the competition, which means I get a paid gig at Kings. We are still talking about when that's going to be. It's probably either going to be around Pride time or Christmas, New Year time. So either time, it's a really good time to be performing.
Yeah.
Next thing I'm going to be doing is a competition called Queen of the Palace,
Mm-hmm.
which I was asked to do. Oh, sorry, you're frozen. Yeah, Queen of the Palace is coming up. I believe that performance is 22nd of April is the actual final,
Mm-hmm.
where I'll be performing and trying to look glamorous, which is something I've tried but never actually did in doing before. After that is Drag Idol. And
Okay.
obviously, if you know Cardiff Drag, you know that everyone who's anyone is doing Drag Idol.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not entirely sure who's going to be in the week that I'm performing. I'm performing in week 3, which is the 2nd of May.
Okay.
But I can guarantee whoever's performing, it's going to be an amazing show.
Yes. Yeah. And I know Drag Idol is there's 4 heats. So even if people can't get to, obviously, we don't encourage people to come to your heat, but there are other opportunities to see the sort of what Cardiff have to
Oh,
offer.
100%.
um, so my final
Yeah, so we've
question
got the 2 weeks before mine and one after. Oh, go on.
is no, no. My final question is: what advice would you have for young people looking to get into drag or wanting to start?
I think my advice would be realize that you're not going to be amazing at everything,
Mm-hmm.
either straight away or ever. For example, I like to think that I'm a very good performer. My makeup has never been good and will continue to not be good for a lot longer.
Mm-hmm.
But those little minute improvements will add up. So even if it's just like, I'm sure other people, because like I say, drag queens are catty, they will comment on it. It's not meant to be malicious. It's just their way of giving you constructive criticism.
Yeah.
So you can have bad outfits, you can have bad makeup, you can not sing in tune.
Mm-hmm.
But as long as you've got that one thing that makes you want to perform, that you want to share with the world, then they will want to share it with you.
Yeah. And that's obviously something we've seen that we saw in Kings is that you were having so much fun, and that meant that the audience enjoyed what you were doing, and it was obviously, as we know, fantastic performances every week. But
Yeah, exactly.
so that's all my questions. So I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time out to sit down and chat with me. Obviously, I'll put all the links below, and people can scroll down and click away. But it's been an absolute pleasure, and I'll speak to you soon.
Thank you so much, Rhys. Thank you for asking me. I was wondering how long it would take you, but now that I'm a winner, I thought it's inevitable.
Speak to you soon. Oh.
Speak to you soon, Rhys. Bye.
Bye.